What's up, everyone? Scotty from Chernobyl Studios, and today, we are going to be looking at the STD Classic Bassknob from Bogren Digital. They have pegged me for this review, just so you guys know up front, but it's not like I don't like this plugin, because if I don't like a plugin, you never see a video about it. So here it is, the Bassknob. If this little logo here doesn't give away what the American bass head is, just go American bass head and you'll see who what this is modeled after. But just like the Ampknob, basically Bogren has created a bass chain for us, right? So we don't have to do much. We have a knob. Now, one of the things that has been changed, which has also been changed in Ampknob as well, is you can actually disable the cab, load your own IRs. This is a great feature. I think it's actually quite cool that Bogren Digital updated the original Ampknob and then already have gone ahead with those upgrades per se with Bassknob straight away, so you could use your own cab impulse. You've got a tuner, which I don't have a bass guitar, and so I'm looking at this purely from a mixing point of view, and I'll show you what I've done here. But obviously, the Bassknob is going to function exactly as the Ampknob. You plug the guitar in, you move the knob, you select dirt or clean, and you've got an amp tone. It's the exact same process here. Now, I don't have a bass guitar, but I was thinking, well, wait a minute. What if I just used the DI of one of my contact instruments and then ran this through that? Should be exactly the same, which it is. So that's what we're going to do. So as you heard in the the intro video there, this thing slaps. It's got a lot of thickness. It has that classic tone to it. And let's talk a little bit what I've done here, which isn't much. So all I've done here is I programmed the bass with a contact library, just like this. It's not, come on, close that out. Here you go. Just programmed it all out. Now, instead of with the contact library, which was Eurobass, I just have it up here as the DI. So no tone at all is coming out of this. In fact, if we just solo this and I were to disable all of these plugins, we should just get a dry DI tone, which we do, right? So the entire bass tone that I'm getting in the mix is from this plugin. So if you don't have a bass guitar, that's fine. You can do what I've done here. You can just write the MIDI bass in, and you can come up, and then you can add the STD Bassknob. I'm sorry, that might happen a few times in this video. I'm so used to saying Ampknob, but Bassknob, and you're pretty much good to go. So what we have here then is when I enable and disable Bassknob, we get a really good bass tone. That's it. You have clean, dirty, and then I have set it to where Bogren recommends it. Who am I to argue with Bogren? I mean, did you guys not hear the new Belfcore album? I mean, he knows what he's doing. So sometimes there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes just take the recommendation from the guy who knows more than you and go from there, right? So that's what I've done. And the cool thing about this is clean and dirty both sound awesome. Like, I almost kept it on clean because it has that nice grunt, just that grunt in there, and the attack, and like the, I don't want to call it, like the juiciness. Listen to that. Just really enforces that juiciness that's coming from the Eurobass. But I ended up going with the dirt knob here just to add some more thickness and some body to the bass, because there's a lot of notey stuff going on with the guitars. And then here's the gain knob. So we have it on 6. Ironically, 10, it's up here on 10, doesn't sound bad. Okay, there's no distorted, it's not peaking, it's not musically bad sounding. You could definitely do something with a tone like that in a mix if you're doing something specific. But I find that on 6. It's literally great, right? It's literally great. So one of the things about the Bassknob that's similar to the Ampknob is that this is it. You shouldn't have to do anything else, and you really don't. And I mean, I've done EQ, but this is not me doing EQ to fix problems. This is EQ while the mix is playing to accentuate the bass to make sure it's in the spot that I want it to be in. You know, here I'm making room for the snare. Here I'm just cutting down on the cardboard for the mids a little bit. And this was specifically so that the bass would lift above the guitars a little bit. Let's actually, now let's play it with the guitars. So with that 1500 hertz bump, the bass notes come above the guitars just a little bit. You know, they're still together with the guitars, but it's coming out up just enough. And then again, this little notch here is just to help make a little bit extra room for the snare drum. And then here is just, you know, take out more mids from the bass. So, but I mean, as you can see, oops. As you can see here, the bass already comes with that big smiley face dip in the middle of the mid, so you don't really have to do much. This is like easy mode right here for bass, especially because it already sounds like it's been, you know, compressed to deal with the dynamics of a bass. Also, this is programmed, so I can't really tell you how well it's going to work if you're playing finger bass and like you're not very consistent with the fingers. So a lot of what a great bass tone is actually is not, you know, like the bass knob is great, but if you're not consistent on the bass and playing it, you know, in your wave format, it's just like this, it's going to be really hard to get a nice, thick, consistent, solid bass tone. So that's actually like the big secret here. Play your bass consistently in a uniform manner, and you'll be better off. I've done double tap here just to, you know, add some more grunt. I really like the way that sounds. Make sure it's multi-band compressing. Everything is tight, you know, even though it is pretty tight. I'm really not doing anything extra here. And then I have micro shift, which is, as you guys know, this is a personal choice. I like to add a little bit of micro shift on my bass, which is kind of like a chorusing effect, which helps push the bass out to the sides a little bit. Just to help make it sound and feel a bit bigger and wider. So, and then the full mix of things. So it's really nice. I mean, there's not much to talk about with the bass knob. It functions exactly the same as how it would with the amp knob for me, which I still use all the time to write, because like I say, it's just there, easy, simple. And I imagine for bass players out there, it's going to be the same thing. Now, once again, as I've said with the amp knob, this is an opportunity to understand what a world-class metal mixer considers to be a great bass tone. So if you're learning how to mix and stuff like that, this is, you can take this and go, oh, okay, so this is what a bass tone is supposed to sound like in a metal mix, okay? So the Bassknob STD Classic, it's on an introductory sale right now for about $39 or 39 euro, and then after the introductory sale, it's going to go up to 50 euro. It's worth it at both amounts instantly. This is an instant buy. Even if I hadn't been provided the plugin and paid to do this review, I would have bought this, because bass guitar is so vital in a metal mix. You have to get bass good to go, pumping, thick, clean, controlled in a metal mix. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So I would have bought this instantly, just to be the same reason for Ampknob. Like, what does the Jen Bogren think, you know, a good bass guitar tone sounds like? Let's check that out. All right. We have no idea what he did to create it. We have no idea the chain, the plugin, how his compression or various different compression stages are. All we know is the type of amp he used, which is, you know, this one right here. Starts with an A. Go ahead and check it out. And then that's it. But that's kind of the fun of it, right? We know what it sounds like. We know what he's used. Can we try and replicate it? You know? So, and I don't know about the technology of how they go from 0 to 10, because it sounds good. You know, I mean, 0 gain, whatever. But I mean, it sounds good at 10, sounds good at 6. Some pretty cool technology there. I really enjoy that. And for the musicians out there who just want to play their bass and record it instantly, this is going to be awesome. And obviously for me, if I'm writing bass and I want to demo something super fast, and I'm even too lazy to put 2 plugins into my chain, I can just go whoop, Bassknob, and I'm done. So this is pretty neat. And finally, the last thing I want to say, because I know this is going to happen because it happened on the Ampknob video, where there's going to be the gatekeepers below who are going to complain like, oh my god, what's the point? Now there's a Bassknob, blah, 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 everything's going to sound the same, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, we can argue that certain genres of metal gent have been sounding exactly the same for a long time, but apparently that's no big deal. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, who is this plugin made for? It's made for people, for example, bass players who might be on the road. They might have an idea and they want to record their bass sound, bass riff, and they want to have a nice sound instantly. What's wrong with that? Why is that a bad thing? It's not going to kill the creative process, guys. Don't worry. This plugin is not going to topple the market of bass tones, just like Ampknob didn't and won't. Just get it out of your heads, guys. This is cool. Technology like this is cool because me personally, I like this. I like to hear what Yen's bass tone sounds like, because I can't just walk into a studio and be like, hey Yen, you mind showing me that entire bass tone chain that you just did? First of all, he's probably really busy, and second of all, he's probably uninterested, and third of all, if he even wanted to, it would cost me thousands of dollars for his time. Or I can pay 40 or 50 euro, depending when you buy this, and just hear the result and then try to recreate it, which is where the fun is. I don't understand what you guys are complaining about. There's no single plugin. Whatever. Just gonna get off that soapbox real quick. But anyway, Bassknob, it's awesome. It's simple. You cannot mess it up. Hold on. You absolutely could mess it up, but if that happens, it's not because of the plugin. It'll be because of all the extra stuff you probably have tried to do to it. This is unfuck-upable. That's a word, unfuck-upable. Yeah. So there you go. Bassknob, totally affordable. Go pick it up. It's awesome. Sounds awesome. You heard it in a full mix. Takes like 5 minutes to work with. It's great. Great for doing demos and great to have on your final stuff. Awesome. So that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, in the links below, there are training courses to learn how to mix like this, okay? And to create guitar tones like this, just look below and you can find those resources, okay? So link below for the STD Classic Bassknob and everything else. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.